the time has come to open our first gasoline slime of the reviews. We're gonna start with Everyone's Slime, since even though both Corn with Slime and Everyone's Slime arrived at the same time, this one came all the way from Montana, and I think that's more impressive than going from California to California. Okay, so next thing that we're going to talk about is packaging and all of that, because, you know, that's something that people care about. I care a little bit less about that when it comes to shipping, but I know a lot of people, like if you're buying a gift or whatever, this is really cute. I love this box. I love the tissue paper. I think it's adorable. I would say if you are a small business, tissue paper is super expensive, so like that's not exactly where I would put my money, but like live your best life, right? Okay, and so there's 3 slimes in here. It was only supposed to be 1 slime. I'm not going to count the free slimes that they put in here in the review, because that seems unfair, because they probably knew it was me and they're like, oh, like, you know, let's like boost my thing. So I'm not going to count that in. I will still open those slimes and I can review those slimes separately, but I will not count them in the whole, like, is this gasoline the best of the gasoline? So adorable packaging, really, really well wrapped, and nothing broke. These are so cute. I used to have these little jars. I absolutely love them. They're so hard to get these days. Yeah, these all look really nice. We'll talk about the labels also, because I'm actually kind of picky about labels. So let's go ahead and, I mean, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous label. So we did have a little bit of leakage. It's okay, it happens. It's unfortunately a part of shipping slime, because the post office is trash and they want to ruin everything for us. So I'm not faulting the Slimer. She packaged these beautifully. The label is so gorgeous, and what I really, really, really love is that it includes the texture and the scent, and a disclaimer. I do that on my labels as well, because I think that's all important stuff. I know that there are a lot of slimes out there that just say like the name of the slime. That doesn't do anything, especially if you're giving it as a gift. I like this label. This is really nice. So on to Corn with Slime. Corn with Slime has this adorable little care card and borax in here, and their borax has a warning and instructions on it. I really like that. I gave up having these, I want to say, back in 2019 for 2 different reasons. The first reason is I found them very wasteful. I was trying to greenify my business as much as I could, even within what, you know, the genre of my business is. And I found that most of my customers were just throwing these away because they were repeat customers. And so I put a way for people to ask for them if they wanted them. I'm not saying that Corn with Slime has to do that, but if you're ever wondering why I stopped having these, there was a disclaimer at the top of my website that says as of, and it had a date in February of 2019. We don't, you know, include these. I don't know if it's good or bad that most Slimers still include them, but I do find it to be a little bit wasteful. There's also tissue paper here, which again, you know, live your best life. It's beautiful. It makes for great packaging. Let's talk about the jar here. This is beautiful. This is a custom made lid, and I know that because I know where they get them made, and that's real cool. It's very cool. I cannot imagine how expensive that is. I will say, while the label is gorgeous, it doesn't give you very much information. It just says gasoline, not edible. It doesn't say that it's gasoline scented, and there are slimes out there called gasoline that aren't gasoline scented. So I would put that, and it also doesn't say what the texture is. I think it's clear, if I remember correctly. This charm is super cute. So, we can't really like give final scores on the packaging and all that until the other 2 arrive. But between these 2, I would say, while I like the design of this label better, I like the content of this label better. They were both packaged beautifully. Nobody broke. La-di-da. So there you go. On to the next video for the next segment.